Alright, hello! I am SuperNerd. Today I'll be showing you the Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition speedrun. So before we actually start the run, I'm going to show some brief setup for the beginning, specifically gameplay settings. We play with rest until healed and max HP on level up on, so we always have a lot of hit points for certain sections of the run. And we also want to do some stuff with hotkeys, because Baldur's Gate lets you do some hotkeys for menus and also spells, and this makes the game a lot faster. Generally, the hotkeys we are interested in here are inventory, character information, mage spells, quick save, quick load, toggle AI, rest, quick loot, quick slots, character 1 and 2, 6 doesn't matter, and a couple spells. The spells we're specifically using will be here, these ones: Friends, Magic Missile, Invisibility, Mirror Image, Haste, Skull Trap, and Dire Charm. The hotkeys themselves don't really matter, they're just personal preference. But I do tend to turn these off just to make dialogue better. Now, we first make the character. Now, Baldur's Gate lets you make your own character with gender, race, an elf, dwarf, you can be whatever class you want. Here, we just make a character with either gender. It doesn't matter for the sake of the run. The game also lets you have portraits. The game gives you portraits for the character. The game you can also make custom portraits by just inserting a BMP image into a file. You are allowed to use custom portraits, and I will. As we have found that it is the best race to go with the fastest class, Mage Thief. We want Mage Thief because it lets us cast wizard spells and get thieving abilities, specifically hide in shadows and pickpockets. Next, we have alignment. Alignment is basically like your character's ethos. Are they good? Are they evil? Do they follow the law? Or are they just kind of free spirit? Here, we can be any non-evil alignment. Evil aligned characters get naturally start off the game with a lower stat called reputation, and if you have a lower reputation, you get a markup in shop prices, which we don't want. So you can be chaotic neutral or anything above it. I will be chaotic neutral. Because this is a D&D game, we also have the 6 ability scores: Strength, Dex, Con, Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma. Dexterity, Constitution, Intelligence. And the game also lets you re-roll and see your total score and modify them specifically with points. Here we want an 85 or better. Damn it. Well, an 85 or better. This is because we want the stat spread of 18, 19, 16, 9, 6, and 17. We want these stats to be high because we need them to be high for hit points, AC, attack, and just for conversation checks. And these two only matter because intelligence we need to be 9 because that's the minimum, and we need a 6 wisdom for a spell later in the run which cares about this ability score. After this, we get to weapon and thief proficiencies. We use long swords and katanas at some point in the run, and we only use them, so we want single weapon. This lets us wield them just better than you would if you had no proficiencies. We do also do some pickpocketing during the run, so we want pickpocket to be a 170. This is because there's a certain point in the run where we steal stuff from a shopkeeper and then sell it right back to him. And it's a weird mechanic, but it works. And we need a minimum of 170 pickpocket in order to do that, guaranteed. We put the rest into move silently or hide in shadows. Either one works. You can even distribute it between them, but as long as they all go in there, it works. We do this because at the very beginning of the run, we need to stealth. Next, we have spells. There are only two. Well, we get first, second, and third level spells, and first level, only two matter. We need Friends and Magic Missile. These three remaining don't matter. They can go into anything, but I just put them here. Second level, we need two spells. We need Mirror Image and Invisibility. If you can probably see a pattern if you remember the hotkeys from before, we basically hotkey every spell we use. And I just leave Resist Fear because that's just how I usually use it. Then we have third level spells. Here we need Skull Trap, Haste, and Dire Charm. We need all three. There's no wiggle room with flex spells. Then we have to pick the spells that we memorize. Unlike modern D&D games, the way that spells work here is you have a spell book, but then you have to specifically prepare what spells you want to cast during that day. So here we select 1 Friends and 3 Magic Missile, followed up by Invisibility and a Mirror Image, and a Dire Charm and a Haste. You can change these occasionally, and we do at some point in the run, but these are the ones that we need at the beginning. Appearance is just up to you. It has no functional difference in game whether you look green or pink or blue, but I just use these colors because I like these colors. Where's my blue? There it is. Sounds. Like with portraits, you can make custom sound packs or download ones that others have made, and you can use any, but in this case I'm just going to use Male 2 because I find this guy to sound really funny. Name. Name also doesn't matter, so I'm just going to name it myself for simplicity's sake. And difficulty, we do core rules. Now, technically easy is faster, I guess technically in some situations, but we just do core rules because that's sort of how the runs, we just do it. We just do it this way. And timing starts once I click Venture Forth and begin the game. And I'll do that in 3, 2, 1. Now, we begin the game by skipping this cutscene and skipping Imoen's dialogue, having her cast Invisibility, cast Haste, and then having us use Hide in the Shadows to go invisible, and then we run around we run this way. Now here, there's a genie up here and he talks to us. Here we want to space 3 space to skip through his cutscene, to skip through his dialogue as fast as possible. Up here, there's this golem has a key that we want, and this table has a sword. Once we go through here, we cast Invisibility because some goblins spawn after we go down that hallway. We hotkey over to Imoen, and then have her go towards this portal, cast Mirror Image, hotkey back to us, and cast Mirror Image. You see Imoen's down here. Up here, normally we'd run past all the monsters, but here we can't actually run past these goblins because they're in the very middle of the corridor. So we actually need to make them move out of the way. And we do that by Magic Missiling the center goblin. So the front one will come up to us. We use Magic Missile to avoid this trap, and then take a wand. Now this nymph will talk to you. Don't want to go through. So here we steal some stuff from these chests, and then we hotkey over to Imoen, have her activate the portal that's here, so that we can go to the next room. Then we open our inventory, equip all our stuff, and then we memorize 2 more invisibility and then kick M1 from the party. We do this so Imoen doesn't come with us in the next room, because the only reason we left her in a party instead of having her leave to begin with was so she could activate that portal. Now here, we come over here, rest, and then use the wand to use the Scroll of Monster Summoning, hoping to get either an Ogrillion or 2 monsters of any kind. Fortunately, here we got an Ogrillion first try. Now in here, there's a door up on the north section of the room that we have to go through, but it only opens once all of these portal things here are dead, are destroyed. Now, you can actually backstab, so that's what we do. We backstab the portals to kill them. Unfortunately, our ogre willing got put to sleep by one of the mephits, so we have to kill this portal by ourselves. It is possible to have the monsters summoned defeat those bottom two portals themselves, but here I got unlucky and it didn't work. Here there's a trap, but you can usually tank it. Up here there are additional traps, one here, here, and here. But usually, if you're fast, you can just do it. Now I looted a table down here and got a key. And that key, when used on this pillar, gets a wand of monster summoning. And we need that for an encounter in the run and to get gold. Now, unfortunately, because I had to kill that portal myself, my haste spell wore off. So I have to rest and cast it again. Oh, whoops. I cast invisibility on myself, not haste. Now here, we run to the exit. Now, once you leave, the game does like a time skip, so a cutscene works. And the way the time skip works is it times out your spells. Well, usually it does. So we have to rest, so we have another another haste to cast when we leave. Now, we use escape to skip dialogue with the wizard who imprisoned us, as he and Nimwin get teleported off to Spellhold as part of the quest. We run past a guy who tries to talk to us, and then we go to the Slums District and skip through Gildan Bale's dialogue. Now here we want to get to this section with 4, and then skip through it, so we have him just skip through his dialogue as much as possible, and cast Invisibility. Unfortunately, I wasn't fast enough, so I'm going to cast Invisibility later. Here we click the third option to skip through this kid's dialogue, and then we go to the Graveyard District. Here we rest twice, and because I failed to cast Invisibility before that cutscene, I have to cast Invisibility here in addition to Haste before I leave. Now here, I want to go to the Bridge District, but to do that, I have to leave through the Slums District to the south. Now, there's a scripted random encounter there, we just use the fact that we're invisible to skip that, and then we go to the Bridge District. Now here we spawn up here, and because we're invisible, we skip some dialogue with a guy here, and then we want to go down here to a merchant. Now, we want to place our movement below this line, because there's a guy up here who talks to you if he sees you, even through invisibility, and placing it low allows you to skip it. Now here, this is where we do the steal thing, where we steal a wand, use the gold we got from there to identify our other wand, and then we buy some scrolls. Protection from magical weapons, improved haste, death fog, and power word silence. Here we then do this cycle thing, where we steal one of the wands and sell the other one in like a circle. Or that's how I think of it with the mouse moving. And then you do this until we have 103,000 gold. Now, it does sound like a lot, but we get like 2,500 to 3,500 gold per time we sell a wand, so it actually doesn't take that long. Now, this scroll of power word silence isn't actually important. We just use it to buffer as like an inventory buffer. So the wand is as low in this 6-item thing as possible. Then once it's done, we sell it. Skip some dialogue with this woman who's actually a vampire. Then we quick save and then rest until we rest without getting interrupted by the guards. What? And then this woman here got glitched out, which usually doesn't happen. But usually what we do here is we buy her potions. We get some invisibility, speed, we cast haste, and then equip our scroll of protection for magical weapons. We then go in here because there's a guy in here with boots of speed, and we want those boots of speed to run faster. Now, here we're actually gonna abuse an attended anti-softlock measure where the game forces you to reload when you attack a shadow thief. But here we're gonna abuse this by charming Renal Bloodscalp here, and then having him attack one of his own shadow thieves. Doing this will have this guy, the insta-kill guy, spawn in and then attack him and kill him instantly. But since we have protection for magical weapons, he won't actually be able to kill us. So we then get his boots and then equip them. And we also grab his potions as well. Unfortunately, there are two NPCs here, and they sometimes talk to you, but fortunately I didn't. We then go to the Slums District, back to Joaquin's Promenade, and then cast Friends. The reason we take this detour is so that we spawn on the top left section of the screen instead of the bottom center, as it's more easier to get to this shop. Now here we buy a single protection from magic. Up here we buy a sword and a robe from this woman, and then we actually steal some scrolls from this merchant woman here. We get 2 Symbol Death, 1 Limited Wish, and 3 Clairvoyance. From here, we then equip Protection from Magic, Speed, Clairvoyance, Robes, and the Katana. Not Clairvoyance, the Wand. The Wand of Monster Summoning. Sorry. We equip that later. Then we leave to the left, and then come to the Graveyard District, and then rest twice to make it nighttime. This is because we want to make a deal with a vampire, and she only comes out at night. Now, before we talk to her, we drink a potion of speed, and then mash through her dialogue. When up here, cast invisibility, and then mash escape to skip 2 cutscenes. Now, around here we do some sequence breaking. Well, instead of doing the intended quest, we go and do a quest that we're supposed to do later first. Now, first the first step of doing this is to kill this guy here. Kill Gildan Bale.
Give me some directions.
Oh, come on. Right. Here, we then take his key and his potion of invisibility. We then cast invisibility on ourselves, and then go to the Docks District. If we're lucky and this guy doesn't talk to us, we can actually sneak under the door. It's really funny. And then we come here and use detect traps to detect this secret door. It usually takes a moment. Now here we have to get 2 secret doors. Now, we use the key to unlock that door, but this door up here needs a different key, so you gotta get that from a torturer down here. Now, this is where we pickpocket again. Now, he actually has 2 items you can pickpocket, a sword and a key, so we have to pickpocket him twice. Now, we cast invisibility, so that guy doesn't see us, and we can just run past him. And then we cast invisibility, cast protection from magic, then drink a speed potion and an invisibility potion. We do this because the scroll of protection from magic actually gets rid of your magic, and will prevent you from casting magic in the future. However, the game doesn't actually check to see if you drink a potion or cast a scroll, and we abuse this when we drink potions and cast a Symbol Death on a wizard up here. Unfortunately, he resisted. It's like a 50-50 shot here per thing. There we go. And then he has a key that we need to unlock a 3rd door down here. Actually, it's over here, but to get it, we have to go down here. Right. Now, typically here, there's some orcs that block our path. Yeah, here they are. And we use the 2nd Symbol Death to kill them. Now, we don't run all the way down immediately because there are some shadows here that can easily paralyze you or block your path. Right. Unfortunately, there, I didn't get lucky. Now, here, there's a trigger here, and if you run over it, you get to skip a really difficult fight, and people in here don't actually spawn. Now, normally here, there's an NPC in here that we want to kill because he has a bunch of powerful items, and he's also we have to kill him as part of a quest. But if you run over the trigger without it going off, then you can just completely skip having to fight all of his minions here. Did he die? No, a Shadow Thief died. Now, the guy we're killing here is Aaron Linvale. He's the leader of the Shadow Thieves, and we need him dead, and we need his stuff. There you go, he's dead. We get his necklace, his ring, his potion of invisibility, and his wooden stake. We then drink an invisibility potion so we can run past everything. Unfortunately, this guy ran, and so we have to wait at him. Now we open our inventory, equip a ring, a necklace, the potions, and now the clairvoyance scrolls. And then we just leave.
I'll see to it.
Now we go and do the quest Bodhi, the vampire woman we are working with, actually wanted us to do, which is go down here and pickpocket and get a shipment of stuff from this woman. Now, you can kill her for it, but it's faster to just pickpocket her. And once again, like the torturer, she has 2 items which you can pickpocket. A piece of gold and the shipment and the crate of stuff. So we pickpocket her twice to make sure we get it. Now here, we get our second quest from Bodhi by talking to her. We do this by first option, second option, and then first option. Once we leave, we drink a potion, and then go north. Now here, like we did Walking's Promenade, we go to the bridge first, so we can go to government and get here. If we went straight from the graveyard district, we'd spawn here. And up here, it's just faster. Now here, we want to kill this noble. We do this by just backstabbing him. Now, we just deposit everything. Oh, I guess I just forgot to sell that. By depositing everything we don't need. And that's everything except our white scrolls, our wand of fire, and our wooden stakes. And finally, we report success to Bodhi. Now, immediately after we report success, we can say, oh, we also killed Aaron Linvale. But before that, we want to level up. We can put our weapon proficiency anywhere, and our thief skills anywhere because they don't matter. Here I am butterfly clicking by using 2 fingers to do this as quickly as possible. And then we mash through Bodhi's dialogue, and then use escape to skip over a couple cutscenes. Now here we skip a cutscene, and then we mash through some dialogue, skip another cutscene, and then mash through some more dialogue before we can actually gain control of our character again. So if you need a quick rundown of what the story is going on, we're rescuing our sister from a magical prison as she got taken there along with the bad guy. And so that's what we're doing here. Now here we have to bribe this man to let us into the pirate lord's cast manor. And then we go through his dialogue through 1-1, 4-2, and then mash 1. This has us convince him to take us to Spellhold. Now we go to our inventory, spellbook one final time. Mash, press 1 and then 3. And so what we do is we memorize invisibility and then 4 skull traps. Then we rest, so we have them in our spellbook. And then we drink a potion of invisibility, and then attack Irenicus with F3 rather than F2. So we hold on to our sword. Now here we just watch a long cutscene as we continue the story. But generally, no, not generally. Now here we skip through Imoen's dialogue here by just 1 and then space. And then we throw some of this stuff. 4 skull traps, and then we let Ball talk to us, so he follows us. Now here we mash 4 to give a point of dexterity to this demon, so he'll let us through. And then we get within Imoen's vision, so she follows us towards the door. So that when the gameplay reason is to kill the guy here, we have to let Imoen see him first, but we can damage him beforehand. And that's why we damage him first so it'd be faster, and then we lured him and Imoen to each other so we can go through the cutscene. Here we just mash through Bodhi's dialogue and then mash through Imoen's dialogue until we get to here, where instead of mashing 1, we do 5. Cast invisibility, rest, drink a potion, and then detect this secret door with detect illusions and traps. Now here, we have to kill a bunch of kobolds. The easiest way to do that is to use the Wand of Fire around here to kill a bunch. Wow, you actually succeeded your save. Wow. I think here if that happens, you just run up and then cast invisibility so they follow you up. Amazing. Unfortunately, here I have to use a skull trap to kill these things. Oh, this is really unlucky. Hopefully, this cutscene still goes out even though the enemies are everywhere. Please? Of course you get a magic resistance. Alright, here we got... so here what happens is, if there are no enemies visible by the crystal, then, damn it. Then, it will start the cutscene. We throw 2 skull traps to kill the kobolds here, and then we use the wand of fire to kill these 4 kobolds, these 2. The way that the game checks is it checks for see if 4 specific kobolds are dead, and by doing that, it guarantees they're dead. Now, you have to be, if a wandering horror spawns up here, you have to be quick because it can actually follow you whilst you're invisible. Now, we grab a Finger of Death scroll, and then we throw some, normally we throw 6, but I skipped 1. So now here we throw skull traps, until there's a decent amount, like at least 6, and then the vampire guy here runs into it, and then he dies. We run up here. Sometimes there's some undead, so you want to wait to cast invisibility so you can lure them out of their way if they spawn. But unfortunately, they didn't. Now here, because I got some stuff from that crystal and that it just gets added to your inventory, and that vampire, I can just it opens the door. That statue just opens. Now here, I run into this room, get a minotaur horn, run down here, open this door to lure a troll out of the way, and then use invisibility to just dodge all of them. Now, we talk to Bodhi to dispel invisibility, and then run down here. Now, here is a scripted event where you turn into this evil Slayer monster, and then attack Bodhi. And after a little while, you turn back into your normal race, in this case, Elf. But here, I'm going to use a glitch to stop that. First, we go down there, get a scroll of Limited Wish and the other Minotaur horn, so we can unlock this statue, and then open the door. Now here, this is where we have some fun with the glitch. Now the way that the game turns you back into a human is it has you cast a spell. Now there, it didn't work. But so the way that it'll do it, it'll have you cast the spell, and then the script deactivates. But if you have your character do something at the exact same moment that the game tries to revert you back to a human, elf, whatever, the game will just leave you as the Slayer because the game expects you to be a human by that point, not actually. This usually it does take a couple tries if you get unlucky, as I think it's actually a frame perfect trick because you have to do it because the spell is a casting time of, I believe the spell is a casting time of 0. So you have to get really lucky, but usually if you practice you can actually get it pretty well, but here I think because I'm talking I am getting bad luck. Give me a moment. Come on. This is like the most skill-intensive section of the run. If you can do something like drag clicking, it becomes a lot easier, but I can't, so I just butterfly click. Come on. Usually this doesn't take this long. The easiest way to do it is, you can see, just zoom in, so the area. Alright, there we go. You know what happens when you don't revert, or you get that dialogue without turning back into a human. Now here, we use Fireball to kill a guy here, and then use another fireball to kill a guy up there. There are 6 monsters, and we kill all 3. We equip Finger of Death for a mushroom colony, and then skip through this ghost dialogue, the dialogue of this ghost. There's like a 5% chance this doesn't work, but even if it does, you can just kill it really quickly. Now here there's a riddle, and the correct option is the 6th answer. So I just hotkey my way there through the number keys. Now here, you have to answer 4 riddles. And to do that, you have to... There are 4 riddles, and you want to get all but the last one correct. So you tap 3, 6, 7, and then any key other than... any dialogue option other than 3. There we just mash through dialogue with like Simon Havarian and that ghost. And then we detect this secret door, switch our wand of fire to a beam of fire mode, and then mash 3 at this gnome to have him release all the prisoners. We like bribe him. Now here we just mash dialogue to convince Wanev, the wizard in grey robes in the center, to teleport us down to fight Irenicus. Now this is where being a Slayer is really useful because it gives us a lot of damage. Now Wanev will try to cast Time Stop, and we don't want this. So we hit him with Wand of Fire so he doesn't try to cast Time Stop. And then we drink a potion and then leave. Now, what happened there is once Irenicus reaches a certain hit points, I think it's like 1, the doors open and then he leaves. Irenicus in the game files is like unkillable here, so it's just like a weird cutscene. Now here we equip our speed potions and the scrolls of clairvoyance. We run down here because we need the key to unlock this door, and then we go down this portal. We then escape to skip 2 cutscenes, cast clairvoyance whilst going up here, skip through another cutscene, and then go here. Now this appears even though we're technically in a cave, clairvoyance works because that's just the way it works in the game files. This gnome can sometimes see you even if you're invisible, so you'll have to mash his dialogue too. Now up here, there's a gnome here with a gem we want, because it lets us go into this cave to continue the quest. And you normally are supposed to do a quest with him to kill a demon, but you can just pickpocket him and steal it. Now here, there's a cutscene on this bridge with a trigger, where a bunch of drow show up. But there I got lucky by stopping and running across in a straight line. But it wastes like 4 seconds, but you can do it. Now here we talk to Adelon, a silver dragon, and she can just see through invisibility, so we don't have to talk to her directly and can stay invisible. Now she turned us into a drow so we can go save her eggs, but we say no thank you and just use that drow illusion to sneak out through an exit. Now, when she turns us into a drow, our items unequip, so we have to re-equip them, and that's what I did after talking to her. Now, this area is also not technically considered a cave, so we can use clairvoyance to go through. Here we do 1-1-2 to bribe the man to let us out, and then we just run around all the drow and spiders to leave the Underdark. Here we escape to skip a cutscene, and then spam through this guy's dialogue. Now, after the screen fades out and fades back in, we want to pause as soon as possible so that we can move before the cutscene continues. And we got it. Now, here we just mash through this Elhen's dialogue. It's basically just story stuff of, oh, what are we doing? We need your help to kill a vampire. And then we run to the edge of the screen and rest, mashing escape to skip a cutscene. We then leave for the Graveyard District. Now here, we get an encounter with Drist, so we drink invisibility potion and ignore him. Here we equip scrolls of improved haste and cast one on ourselves. And then we turn into a Slayer and mash Bodhi's dialogue. Son of a... Now here, don't be like me and click the second option. I accept despite the risks. That turns us into Slayer. The top one just cancels the transformation. Now, we run down here to trigger an autosave, and then we load the autosave. Because the way the Slayer works is you revert to a human if you ever change, if you go through a loading zone. But if you also can't save as the Slayer. But if you load a save as the Slayer and then immediately go through the loading zone, the only real way to do this is to trigger an autosave, as we did there. Then we don't actually have a timer on the Slayer transformation, and we can go through loading zones. Now here we just kill 5 named vampires, so that this door opens, and we go to Bodhi's Sanctum and then do a boss fight. We can also put holy water that we got from that elf into these pools of blood to make the vampires weaker. Now here Bodhi goes to her coffin, and then we stake her with some stakes that elf guy also gave us. Unfortunately here I got blocked, so I have to run. So I had to attack the enemy so they move. But here we just leave and go back to the Underdark exit area down here. Now it's pretty common to get 1, sometimes 2, random encounters there. So there we just leave them as soon as possible, and then we get as soon as possible. Here we drink a potion of speed and then talk to him. We run here because that's where the door spawns, so as close to it as possible once cutscene finishes. Now here, there's another cutscene, so we run as far this way as we can before they start. And then we mash through Elton, whatever, this man's dialogue. Now, the reason we want to move during the cutscene is just to save time. It's a weird thing where technically we're moving during a cutscene instead of just standing by the entrance, and that saves time. Up here we get a time stop scroll, and then go down here and solve a puzzle box. The answer is 4132. Here we drink a potion of invisibility to avoid dialogue with this drow, and then we just run around. Up here, next up here, we do some stuff with a dragon. Now, normally you have to fight it to get something that they have. But if you have 30,000 or more gold, you can just make a deal where you give the dragon the gold and all your stuff, and then he'll just give you your items. However, the dragon doesn't actually check to see if you drop any items on the ground, so we do that and get to keep important items. Now, technically, quest items don't get taken, but that's just how the game works. So, you notice we've lost a sword and a ring, but we don't care about them at this point. Now, once we do that, we equip our potions of invisibility and our 2 white scrolls, our Limited Wish and our Improved Haste. Now, we use 1 scroll of Limited Wish to skip a cutscene here. Now, normally it's a long cutscene, but you can just use a Limited Wish scroll to have the genie talk to you, and then just skip the whole thing. And there we pickpocket a sword from that elf, because we need it for a ritual here. Here we just put in the cup, the sword, and a necklace. Here, make sure that you can drink your potions whenever you need to avoid monsters, but you always want to have at least 1 scroll for the very end of the game for the final Irenicus fight. Because otherwise you can't. Otherwise you have to do some weird thing with transforming during a time stop. Now here we just watch a cutscene as we get ready to continue. Now after this we leave the temple, and there's one final house that we have to loot before we can go to the palace and continue to Irenicus. That's this one, and in here there's a stone horn. Then we go up here. Now, inside of this area here, there are 2 statues and a tree that we have to interact with. And we have to interact with the tree twice, here, to get some nuts, to get some tree nuts needed for going through the thing. And then we activate these statues to, what? Oh, I think I accidentally missed something over here. Shut up. Just here? Yeah, I accidentally didn't grab the harp. Make sure you don't do what I did and actually get the harp here, because otherwise you have to go back and get it. But usually we get it. As you saw, I went in to get it, but I just missed it. Now, normally here, two cutscenes play at the same time, but here we only have one, which is the transition as this pool of water fountain here just disappears. Now here we run past the Elf Queen and mash through her dialogue, so we don't have to deal with her. Run down here to kill. We need to kill 3 parasites, and each one is guarded by 2 elementals. In this case, fire, air, and earth. So we cast improved haste on ourselves, so we can kill them quickly, and then we kill them, and we kill the first parasite. Here we run back and forth along this like branch to wait until this branch grows here. That's the trigger. Then we kill here. Here. Fortunately, this branch is really thin, so we can actually fight each of them one at a time instead of both at once, so it's much less likely to get hit. Now up here, one final time. Now she complains about the Tree of Life dying as we go up here to attack this final parasite. Now here, this is like the most likely place that you die in the Tree of Life, so make sure that you quick save beforehand. I didn't. Alright, here we turn back into a human, destroy this, and then equip our sword and our potions of speed. Now here we just mash through Irenicus's dialogue, Irenicus and Elisine's dialogue. Now here we do some cheese tactics where we run down here. Now Irenicus only casts spells if he can see you, so we just run to a place where he can't see us, and then cast skull traps at him until he dies. Is he dead? No, what the? You're supposed to die, not survive. Dead? No, you're not. What is wrong here? Usually you can do it in like with 7 skull traps, but I think I got unlucky with the damage rolls. There we go. Finally. Now here we just we mash through some dialogue, and here the plot happens is we get dragged to hell because Irenicus has our soul. So before that happens, we drink a speed potion, so we are speedy. We mash through some dialogue and escape through a cutscene, and then we go down here to one of these hell trials. We mash A until this section with 3 dialogues with no options, and they do 3, 3, 2, 1 to get a good option where you don't have to fight this dragon. Now here we skip a cutscene the same way that we skip that other one. Now here instead of just telling the genie to go away, we actually want a wish from him. So we select a one-time wish, and then the option, I wish to be anything I want. That one lets us turn into a Mind Flayer. Here we activate this until this cutscene plays, and then we drop the Tear of Ball on the ground and equip our Time Stop Scroll. So the way that this door works is it checks to see if you have a Tear of Ball, and then removes it from your inventory after you use it, after second part of the cutscene begins. So sorry. So once this is quiet now, I'll say what happened. So here we use so there's a glitch, or I guess an exploit, where the game checks to see if you have an eye in your inventory before it actually, and then it starts the cutscene before it removes the eye from your inventory. Because here you intended to go through 5 trials to open the door, but here we just cheat and only do 1. Now here, Mind Flayers have an ability called Devour Brain. Oh shit. The timer stops once the 2 bars on the side disappear. Now, here is just the ending. Sorry, I had to do something. So, I'm sorry, I forgot to say, the timer here stops the moment that the time stop ends and the two bars on the side of the screen disappear. So, a minor note that I didn't get into because I spent too much time describing the eyes is that we use invisibility to cheat Irenicus out of his mislead spell so we can kill him without him turning invisible. And then we do that using the Mind Flayer Devour Brain, which drains 5 intelligence per hit until Irenicus dies from having an intelligence of 0. And that's the speedrun. I skipped the final cutscene, but that's the end. This is just the Throne of Ball expansion of afterwards. So, yeah, that was the speedrun. So, shout out to Nadcat and Shadowfire Angel for doing a lot of work with routing this run. I also helped a lot, but they did like a lot of it. And that's the end. Thank you for having me.
All right, wonderful. Thanks for the run and GG's.
You're welcome.
All right, so that was the end of day one. Also, hello everyone. I'm Sanjian, and yeah, we're part of the little tech team heading the